We'll start off with our prayer request list. Need to remember Jerry Dillon from the bus garage. Her son passed away. Denise Locke, her mother passed away. Peggy Denton, her dad's in the hospital. I also need to remember Rachel Kelly, Galen Fish, Robbie Wilkerson, and Miss Amy Manning. Are there any others? I don't have anybody else listed. Are there any others we need to add to that list? If not, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this day thanking you for life, thanking you for the sun outside that we have, for the changing of the seasons, for another school year beginning. We're just so thankful for the many blessings that you give us. We want to pray this night for our school system, for our teachers and our students and administrators and all those associated with it. Pray that you'll just continue to keep us safe, keep all the harm away from our schools, and just pray that we'll have a successful year and that it'll be another great year here in Smith County. Father, we want to pray now that as we continue through this meeting tonight that you help us to make the decisions we need to make for this system, and we always want to pray, Father, that you'll be with us in every decision that we make in our lives. Most of all this night, we want to thank you for your Son. It's his name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Begin our meeting tonight with some school updates. Ms. Pope, if you want to come forward. It's Forks River Elementary.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here tonight. Forks River is off to a fantastic start. Our enrollment is about the same as the way we ended last year. This week we're about 193. That brought us to 2 kindergarten classes for the third year in a row, and we had 2 first grade teachers this year for the first time since I've been there. So we're growing from the bottom up. We welcome several new staff members. Miss Christian Carr actually started in January last year with the retirement of our beloved Miss Donna Kemp, and Miss Michelle Tedrow also started last year as an RTI paraprofessional. Miss Susan Myers transferred from kindergarten to 3rd grade, and then Miss Josie Jennings took her place in kindergarten. She is from Gordonsville, but she came to us from Mount Juliet to kindergarten. Miss Rusty Nixon is our second first grade teacher, and then Miss Angel Zaffino is our new guidance counselor, and we share her with Defeated and Union Heights. We continue to make building improvements. This past year we put in our new fence around our walking track. It is beautiful. If you've not been out to see it, it made the campus look a lot better, but it also was a huge safety improvement for our play area and the track so that the kids could have free reign to not just play on the playground, they could run around the track and be safe as well. We also refinished the bell that is out in front of the gym, and it looks beautiful as well. November 2nd, we kick off our Forks River tournament, and so every school will be represented in the county, so we hope you will come out and get a glimpse of Smith County basketball. Coach Craig Williams is my new boys basketball coach. He'll be doing the B team and the varsity this year, and this is his first year as head coach. But both of our teams finished second in the county tournament last year, so we're looking forward to a very exciting basketball season. So come out and join us when we come back from break. Academically, we completed the first 9 weeks and had our award ceremony today, and all the parents came to see the kids get their awards. And all the grade levels finished their iReady math diagnostic, and this week they're all taking their iReady reading diagnostic exams. Finally, we are finishing 3 weeks of roller skating, so if you have not been out to roller skate with us, this is your last chance. The kids have had a great experience doing that, and some of the teachers as well. And if you follow our Facebook page, you'll get some glimpses of some of my teachers skating. It is entertaining. When we come back from break, it will be Red Ribbon Week, and we have lots of celebrations going on for that, and that's to promote healthy choices and drug prevention. Currently, all the teachers are decorating their door, And if you come to parent-teacher conference Thursday, you can vote for your favorite door, and that class gets a pizza party. So come and vote for whatever door you think is the best. But I would invite you all to come anytime to visit Forks River. There's great, fun things going on. We have a very warm, caring staff, and if you haven't come to see us, we'd love to have you there. So, any questions?
I just want to say thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
And the school always looks remarkable, and I think that it speaks volumes. You know, you can follow those kids, and you can from every school, but of course, being up there, I follow our kids more. And they're on through college, and they do remarkable things in life, and that says a lot about what's happening and what's taking place there, and the type of employees and things that we have there. I truly, in my heart, believe that every single person up there, when those children leave every day, they know that somebody loves them. And that's important. It's outside academics, but I still think it's important. But I appreciate what you do. And the school always just looks remarkable. And you manage this Facebook page. And there's a ton of information out there all the time that saves parents a lot of question asking and phone calls, this, that, and the other. But also, the photographs and things celebrate our children and their accomplishments, and I think that that is very meaningful to them. So I just wanted to, real quick, say thank you for those things, and I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you. Anybody else? Questions? Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Paul.
you.
Gordonville Elementary, Miss Kelly is sick, so we will go to New Milton, Mr. Fry.
Well, good evening, guys. I'd like to say what a great opportunity it is to be here, and Mr. Smith and the board giving me the opportunity to work there at New Milton. Our enrollment, we started the year at 262. We've lost 4 from start. We've enrolled 5 since then, actually enrolled 4 today. So puts us up at 263 kids as of today. We've got 5 kindergarten classrooms. We're sitting at 97 now kindergartners, with another one coming fall break. Gonna put us at 98. Luckily, when I say luckily, we've got 3 first grade classrooms. We're at 65 in our, fixing to be 66 in our first grade. Those numbers are too high, but it saved us a little bit that our numbers there are lower, thank goodness. And then we're at 80 in our second grade, so and 20 in our pre-K. So an overall average, we're a little over 20 per classroom in all of our classes. Since we have 5 kindergarten classrooms, we had 3 last year. We dropped Miss Emily Anderson down from first grade to kindergarten. And then we were able to hire Miss Mindy Pearson as our new kindergarten teacher. Our ratio was too high, which allowed us to earn us a new teacher, so Miss Mindy filled that position. And then Miss Chelsea O'Neill came in to fill an open EA position, and those are our 2 new additions to our school. A couple of improvements that we've made, thanks to Mr. Smith and maintenance. We were able to rock a large section around back because parking is kind of a premium over there. So we have a lot of teachers utilize parking around back. So Mr. Smith and maintenance allowed that to happen and got us a large parking area around there that everybody uses. We're in the process of adding, and I've been wanting to do this ever since that I came over there. This is my 3rd year there. We're in the process of adding some adjustable basketball goals for our basketball. Obviously, these kids can't shoot on a 10-foot goal. We've got little drop-ins, and they're sufficient. They work, but I want, if at all possible, I want our kids to have the best that they can have, but whatever it is, whether it be in the classroom and athletics as well. So we're in the process of, those should be shipped and hopefully have those up soon. And we had 86 basketball players in our K2 basketball. Yeah, wow, right. So
that's about a third of your kids.
Yeah, exactly. So we managed 7 teams and tried to get them in and out of practice as best we could, and it was full just about Monday through Thursday, there was teams in there practicing. So we had 7 teams and 14 coaches. You cannot do a K2 basketball with one coach. And if you think you can, you go try it sometime. You got to have somebody to round them in. So if nothing else, some of those people, they'll say, I don't know anything about basketball. I said, I don't care. I need somebody to hold them, to herd them in.
Can you tie shoes?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And clean up the spills on the floor and everything else. So 86 basketball players, 7 teams, 14 coaches, a lot of smiles, a lot of happy parents and laughing and giggling, and it's something to see. So we're in the process of doing that, and I really look forward to that, because that basketball is continuing to grow, and seeing a lot of good things out of that. Academically, we had the adult leadership. I got contacted about a month or so ago. The adult leadership wanted to come to our school, visit our school. They said it felt like the school was flourishing, and they wanted to come just meet with us and talk to us. And just to give you an example, Ames Webb scores, these teachers are based on test scores and evaluations and this, that, and the other. Last year, all of our teachers were able to earn a 5 on their achievement, which is the highest they can be. Year prior to that, almost all of them were a 5. There was a couple that earned a rating of a 4, which is still wonderful. About a month ago, we received our 10 ready scores, our state test scores for our 2nd grade, and to say that I was ecstatic would be an understatement. We were the highest in the district, and just to give you an example, the state proficiency level in ELA English was 32% proficient in advanced. New Middleton was at 55% proficient in advanced. We've still got a ways to go. We're not happy with 55%, but we do feel, way above that state proficiency level. And then in our math, state proficiency level was 43%. New Middleton was 81% proficient in advanced. And guys, I was so proud of and for those 2nd grade teachers, those 2nd grade students that are at Gornsville Elementary right now. But I want to tell you this, and they get and deserve so much of the praise. But it didn't happen in 2nd grade. It hadn't been in kindergarten. They got those foundations and those basic building, those skills. And it wasn't just those teachers, because those kids that struggle go out to an EA, an RTI person, and they get help there. It's a team effort, and not one person is any more important than the other. I wish I could say there's something that I was doing that created any of that, but I'm going to tell you right now, I did not do a thing. There's nothing that I did that did that. Those people, that great faculty and staff, those are the ones that made that magic happen. And I'm so proud. I couldn't wait to get back. We learned at our principal's meeting, got our scores. I could not wait to get back to announce over the intercom our scores, and you could just hear people hooping and hollering and had it posted. So I'm ecstatic for those guys, and everything that we're able to do there is due to that great faculty and staff, our literacy leaders, our library. It takes a team, and it's no one person is more important than the other. Anybody have any questions?
Obviously, I do.
Sure.
I agree with everything, and those numbers are just remarkable. I'm astounded. But the only thing I'm going to disagree with you with, yes, sir, you have a remarkable staff. But it doesn't make any difference how wonderful the ship is on the ocean. Somebody's got to be steering that thing. So thank you for what
Well, I
you do.
appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know that I do anything, but I appreciate it.
You do something. I appreciate it. So thank you.
Yes. Anybody else?
Thank you, Mr. Fry. Okay, I have asked Coach Fry, Mr. Fry and Mr. Pope, still call you Coach, sorry about
Okay,
that,
they still do. Very good.
to stay, because we're going to move the discussion questions up, get them out of order here. The first discussion question is addition of paraprofessionals in the kindergarten classroom. And with 5 kindergarten classes, Coach Fry needs to be here, probably. And Ms. Pope, you've got one. You've got 2. That's correct. So it's really affects them, and Mr. Lewis brought this to my attention. He's right. We need you to be here. I think he had some questions, believe it or not, but
I never have any questions at all.
but he wanted you two to hang around. We didn't want to keep you all night. So, did you have?
Well, I'd like to, one reason when I started, we wanted to build a fund balance and is because we wanted to make sure when you start giving salaries, it's reoccurring. It's not like going here and buying a car. It's reoccurring. And we wanted to see if we could sustain what we were doing, and we've been able to do that. Those of you that know me know how ADHD that I am. My secretary's back there making eyes now, okay? Because that's about as long as I can sit here now. Well, I'm sitting in and when I say this is not for my child because he'll not reap the benefits of it, but so to speak, but it's for our children. But I'm being a parent sitting in the New Middleton Front. Well, I've been sitting there about long enough, and about that time there's some children that my other one's about like me, my little one. Next thing I know, I'm dodging blocks, and I'm jumping, and I'm like, how? I was wanting to grab people, and I'm like, how is she doing this? How is she having class? You know what I mean? Well, I remember what Mr. Lewis, Roger Lewis, he won't hear me using his name. He used to come in, and I always come in there early in the mornings, and Mr. Lewis would call me up to come see me. He'd call me Smith. And he could dress me down about as good as anybody. I felt like he's not old enough to be there, but it felt like he was my big brother. My daddy talking to me, I was intimidated. He'd say, Smith, he said, how's your test scores so good where you come from? And I'd say the same. Nobody asked me 10 times. I'd say, I'm going to tell you, and you ain't going to like either answer. He'd say, why? And I said, they cost you money. And he didn't have the luxury that we've got now with money. And I said, we were fortunate we had at that time, and we can't do this, but we had a K3, think about this principle, we had a K3 grant that we were at a 12-to-1 ratio plus an EA in every class. That's why we were, just like these engineers here, we were building the foundation, and then we were going to an AB block schedule, which I finally talked him into doing because that when he understood we gained an extra class to save us money, basically. That was that. So we did that. That's one reason our CT scores got better. On the other end, prepare the kids for college. But I do believe in this for myself. And Gina and I've talked about it. She's been, after she thought I had a little weakness there to spend some money, she's been on me pretty hard now for about 3 years on it. We feel like financially that we can do this. I think our biggest challenge will be getting people. But I want to give the board a lot of credit by giving the raises. We've had a really good pool of applicants the last so many times now since we've got our EA paid much better, much more to the people surrounding us, and they can now afford to we're just getting a really good pool. And I do think it's beneficial. I don't want to take any glory away from our principals. They're the ones in the trenches, but I've been there too, and I think as a high school principal, I was smart enough to know my success was what they were sending me, okay? Because you can't catch them back up, I can tell you that. We're moving too fast. I told somebody today, we're at kindergarten about where I was in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade probably, but the things they're doing is remarkable what they're doing. My kindergarten kid comes home and he's really doing things that I was doing in 3rd and 4th grade. I mean, it's crazy. And we're pushing these. I don't see how they sit in a class with 22, and I mean that, by themselves. And then what little help that y'all are pulling, and I know y'all ain't fooling me. I know you're cheating me and pulling EAs out and putting them where I would be too. I'm not fussing, I'm laughing. But if you are, that not only if we put an EA in there, we'll free that person up to go do more without having. I'm kidding. You know I don't care. You're doing the right thing. I'd be doing exactly what you're doing if you are, okay? Because it ain't illegal. It would be if you're using different, but you're not. But I do think it's beneficial. I think we've got the money to sustain it. Gina if you read your board packet there's several teachers just give testimonies, and I believe they're from the heart. That's just what, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if you get any from me. Yes, sir.
Go ahead and say it. Anyway,
Mr. Lewis, do you have any questions? Go ahead.
I am remiss in this discussion in that the kindergarten teacher at Forks River did send me a message, and I've had a few things going on, and I just, I failed to get that over to you, so publicly, and I also spoke to Ms. Pope today to ask her to please apologize to our kindergarten teacher there for my failure on that part. But the only thing I will say is that clearly from what we've heard, and I've visited those classrooms, and you visited them, we've all probably visited every one of them, but you know, the test scores and things are kind of, you reap what you sow with everything. And if we fail these kids, if we're needing EAs in these classrooms, which I honestly believe we are, and I'm for it 1,000%, but you know, if we fail them on the front end, we're going to fix that on the back end somewhere. And I'd a whole lot rather make it a lot easier on the front end, let's take care of it, than try to fix something on the back end. That's just my opinion.
I agree with what you say. I've talked to a couple of kindergarten teachers out in New Middleton about this particular subject, but there's only and listen, I understand where they're coming from. I'm understanding, you know, if you have kids coming out of a pre-K, they're a little more structured probably than kids that don't get to go to pre-K. And I've always said this, I think it's a shame that the state government, we're talking about the lottery, we do this renew where the kids can go to college. I wish they would transfer some of that lottery money back to pre-Ks. And it'd be nice if every kid could go to pre-K before they went to kindergarten. And that would be fantastic.
All of our kids, not just.
Every kid. I think you ought to have a
it
pre-K.
shouldn't be, in my opinion, you know, right now it's lower income and at-risk kids, which is a great thing, but every child should have that
Every
opportunity.
Every child.
It should be restructured where it's pre-K, kindergarten, and then so forth. But of course, we're not there yet. And I also agree that, you know, I think the teachers probably need helpers full time or most of the time in these classrooms. Now, as a board member, I'm going to go this way. This will be a reoccurring cost, so I would like to know what the cost is going to be. And then my next question would be, could we do half EAs, like split a EA, like they spend could you get by half of EA and a half of EA like you split one? Like each kindergarten, 2 kindergarten teachers gets 1 EA. They spend so many hours working with these kids here. Oh, you already got the number.
Yeah, that's true. And it would cost you less than probably half of that this year. You could actually vote it in even as a trial. I thought of that because you'll probably be lucky to staff them this year. And so it'd be a great trial to see if it's something that we felt like.
When you gonna try and start it, if we?
Well, what I would
on this-
suggest is try to get to Christmas.
Yeah.
That way we kind of divide it in half.
Yeah.
How many are we talking about, 18 or 15? 15?
For the whole,
About the hour.
Okay. That was another question I was going to ask you, how many would it be? 15?
We talked about that, Gina and I talked about actually today, you could do it different ways. You could do it 6 and 9, and you could give them, you could add them an hour. If they work 3 years, it'd be give them an incentive, add them another hour. You know, it'd be something we could do on a scale. It'd be something we could vote to start them out at that. That would be something that we could negotiate, depending on training, and, you know. Let me say this, as a.
Or
most
even
y'all-
even their education level. Could you base it on, like if you've got an EA who may have a,
associate's degree.
associate's degree,
Yeah.
or even a bachelor's degree, or in the case of my
And we've
sister,
actually
she had a
some
master's
cases where
degree.
they
but-
have a college degree and maybe the
Change of
spouse is doing
career.
it, you know, they
Yeah.
want to spare, you know. Most you've been around me know I'm a numbers, dollars, or you get more bang for your money, and I know your principals back here will agree with this. You get more bang for your money with educational assistants and retired contract teachers.
Yeah.
We can hire about 3 to 4 outstanding retired teachers for what one new teacher would cost this time you figure everything. For sure, a veteran teacher you can get on the back end because you're not having to pay benefits. You're not having, you look up and say, well, they got 4.
are they available?
So we have several of them, and I don't know if they'll be interested in this. They might because of the pay scale. It keeps them under their TCRS thing.
Yeah.
That's something that could be negotiated there too, and
Yeah.
might be interested in that.
Yeah.
But this figure also includes their benefits.
This should include everything, but Norma couldn't be here tonight, and I had her to figure.
Well, would there be another option that if you worked them under the hours to make them part-time where you wouldn't have to plan the benefits? Like
Well-
5.5 hours?
They're under the hours, on under the benefit status anyway, where this is set up. That's really set up on that time scale right there. That's a great idea, but that's already incorporated in here.
So these 15 EAs is countywide?
Yeah, they'd be like, well, there's 15.
Countywide.
Yeah,
There's
well,
15
when I say
kindergartens.
countywide,
15
Marty, they'd be
kindergarten
5
classes.
at New
Okay.
Middleton and 2 at Forks River, and how many ever was it defeated, 2 out there and so on.
Coach
So-
Bride, do you have a question?
I just wanted to speak on Mr. Manning, just some of the complications with a half day. We've got all our kindergarten do our reading block at the same time. And when we say, I've told this several times, an EA is not, you know, they're not grading papers, they're in the floor teaching those kids. If we give them this one, this half a day, first half a day, and this one second half a day, well, this teacher's not gonna have them during that reading block, and it may be during some of their recess, and it may be something like that. So it's doing a half a day type thing.
Don't really work.
It's not for a teacher, it's doing it might on the.
Not
on
for
the
a
bank,
kindergarten
But
teacher,
not for a
it's not.
kindergarten teacher, and it's like that gentleman there said, the way, the classes are now, it's so much more integrated, and gosh dog, I see so many things that we can do with these EAs and get them in there, and I think it's gonna allow us, at least in my school, we've got RTI kids that may be struggling to go out to RTI to a different set of EAs. Well, now, within that classroom, those that don't leave, the EA may be able to take the group that's there in the average and work with them, and then the teacher can take those kids, because I want to push those high kids. And that's what I've always been wanting to do, and I'm just not smart enough to figure it out. But I see how that might be able to give us an opportunity to work with those low kids, those average kids, and then our teachers can push those high kids as well. That's what I envision in my mind.
And Shel, let me say this too, there's nothing to thinking outside the box. That's how you improve things. There's nothing to say
Okay.
during that time, but you couldn't have 2 EAs with this group of kids and a teacher while this group was being pushed. Even though I'm assigned to Robin, if we're working as a
Absolutely, sure.
team, that's
Well,
what
it's
you
all
want.
a team.
Like,
We
you
all
want
work
thinking
together.
outside the box.
Absolutely.
How
Well,
many-
and that was part of the
How many
purpose
EAs
when
you
we
got
put
now?
K2 in one building, was for
Well,
collaborative
I wanted to
reasons.
say there a minute ago,
Six.
I feel like, I want to ask this question, I didn't ask it, well, I wanted to. And I want an honest answer, and this ain't staged because I hadn't asked you this. Do you feel like that those test scores are reflective of having those large numbers of kids the same age together versus?
Well, I feel fortunate that I just think, just Kate said,
That's what I want to know. Do you think-
I think it can't,
Why? Less distraction, more focus
well,
on?
you focus more on those little kids. You
You've
just,
also got more collaboration, right?
well, they pretty much have, common planning, and they do collaborate all the time. They're always collaborating. But yes, I think just having that K2, it's just, in my mind, it's perfect. And let me tell you this, I've taught 35 chemistry kids, and I would not realize this until I went to elementary. I'll take 35 chemistry kids, 10 to 1 as I have 20 kindergarten kids. I can tell you that right now, I couldn't do it. It
It's
takes
the
a special
hardest
person.
grade. It is. It's the hardest grade to teach.
They
I could-
require
it
so
takes a special person to
much.
teach that
I mean,
level. I
there's
could-
just so much they can't do.
They're coming to school, y'all, with no
Nothing.
self-help skills.
No, they can't button pants. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
they
just so
can't
many
go to the
things we
bathroom.
take for granted.
Tie their shoes.
They can't. And until I got there.
Listen, I taught and liked it. They sent me the vocational, I had a vocational class. And they called it cell block D, is what we called it. They sent me, I got along with them, loved them, and I could handle that. And I thought I'd lose my mind in Earth Cannon that day dodging them blocks. I'd rather went back to cell block D any day sitting at kindergarten. I don't know how they do it.
You guys have all had kids, and you know how hard it is to try to keep a handle on 1 or 2 that age. And then we're in there with 100 of them in the cafeteria at one time that's suited for about 84.
You know what?
Chuck E. Cheese every day, baby.
You know what?
Are you asking for like games and?
And I'm like, Gina, those kids, that you know,
The
and
kids
nothing.
deserve the help.
Yeah, and like Tommy said, so many of them are coming in, you know, that the majority of kids are not coming in out of a preschool setting.
They're not, you're exactly
Yeah.
right. I mean, you take We've
20,
got 20
Yeah.
20 of your
out of our
100 is,
100
yeah.
basically that have some of that. And some of those, I'm not saying those kids that don't have it, that don't have a pre-K can't come in function, but there's so many that just struggle.
I mean, I'll use mine, but there's a big difference. He come in there having to set 8 hours versus, doing what he wanted to at Nana's house all day.
But again, I don't go back, do not think that those EAs are in there to cut out paper and grade papers. That is not what they're doing, guys. They are in the floor digging and helping those kids out. I guarantee you that. At least at my school they are.
I don't see a problem with it.
Me
You
either.
know,
Me either.
doing- Pulling 7 hours, split it right in the middle of 7 hours, starting it at Christmas, then run it the rest of the year and then evaluate it
And
at
we
the end of
can,
that time to see if
and-
that
and to answer what you said too, Tommy, we always, if we was in a money crunch, it's hard, bad to say, but you'd have to cut back where you had to cut back, you non-certified positions. And that's bad, but that's just, you have to start, hopefully. And this is probably something we should have had in the budget if we wanted to start with. But one reason we didn't, we wanted to see where timing with the state's never right, okay? We didn't get our actual numbers projected of where we're gonna come back in again, and we actually think we even gained more money back in fund balance. We thought we was gonna eat into it, given the raises a little. We actually gained quite a bit of money again, and I'm very excited about that. So, that don't mean it's gonna happen every year, but it was enough to last several years at this rate too, just this 1 year.
Let's just put it on the agenda.
I just want to ask one thing. Any of these figures that you presented us with, whichever path we chose, which I would like to do it, but I think Mr. Shoulders has a good point. Put it in there 6 months and let's get an evaluation, get a report back from principals and see what the impact has been and all that.
And I can get Norma to give us exact specifics at the next meeting too.
But then-
Make sure it's matching benefits and.
right.
But then you do find it to be fiscally sustainable.
I think we're in great shape to do it
Okay.
financially,
All right.
but that won't hurt. I'd like to run the numbers one more time to.
Let me
Okay.
ask you a question though, and I agree with both of you all that that's a good idea, but do you think funding it from Christmas to the end of the school year, and that being the only, known position, do you think that would affect the people who apply?
Well, it's a good question.
Discourage.
Well, I think if we could state it in a way that we feel like the money's there and a lot of it hinges on the success, how well they do, I think it'll be very
I just
successful.
hate
Yeah, I
to
know what you're
eliminate
saying. Quit my job and
somebody
come and
who,
do that
right,
for 3
exactly,
months, but-
exactly.
But I think we could word it in a way that we want it to, and if it works out like we feel like it's going to, it'd be like any other,
Yeah.
Well, sure, yeah.
I mean, you just don't want somebody to
No,
walk
I
away from a
wouldn't quit
job
my
and
job
then.
saying, hey, it's 3 month trial,
Right, yeah.
It's a good point.
Let's put it to vote on the next agenda, and we'll get the
And I'll
definite,
have
we'll
you-
get the definite numbers.
We'll get you some exact numbers too.
And then we can vote, we can put it in there the same format with the 6.5, 7, 7.5. We can vote however we feel like.
And we might even, if you want, like I said, we might work with kindergarten and the Norma and look at, at doing a progressive, you stay with us 3 years, we add another hour or 2 hours, and then 3 more, you make it where we can retain people. We get, like Sean was saying a while ago, and Leslie knows, we get a lot of training tied up in those educational assistants. And in many cases, are just as valuable, if not, as a teacher. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth.
Yeah, well, even if we decided today that we want to do it right now, we were going to do it for the full school year, where we are on the calendar, it might well be December before you got them in every place, you know what I'm saying?
We more than likely won't be fortunate to find 15, I tell you that's right.
Yeah.
If we got 8 or 10, I'd be thrilled.
Is there any chances that any of these like senior girls or those classes that they have fit that they could do some volunteer work, that could get in there and do that to help with some of their future work that's going to be school teachers down the road? Is that a liability?
I don't know that you could be in a position to pay it.
That's why I'm just saying volunteer work.
We have a couple,
We'd have to look at it
Yeah.
strongly.
we have a couple now through work-based learning that does that at
Do you?
College Elementary.
And they're probably
especially- and
good.
it would also, Hamilton might could turn into a teacher recruiting tool too.
It might be good. I bet they're good at
But I
it.
think we could do it on a case by case, the
Yeah.
maturity level and the age and so on.
Absolutely.
Well, and I know at Defeated and some of the other schools, they buddy up, like with the, either sixth grade or seventh grade or eighth graders, they buddy with a kindergarten student and help them at lunch and
read.
and do, yeah. They have their like peer partners, or I think that's what they call it.
It is.
You know, that they have, so that's,
Which that's good at those, but you can see you got Carthage Elementary and then you got New Middleton that.
yeah, where you've got your younger grades,
Young,
yeah.
just- that wouldn't
yeah.
work.
No, no, it wouldn't,
But
because,
that works
because
good.
a second
Yeah.
grader can't really mentor a kindergartner.
Right,
right.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
So,
Okay, if everybody's good with that, we'll put it on the agenda for next month, and we'll have our definite numbers, and we can kind of decide from that. Let's go ahead while we're in the discussion, and just go ahead and do our fuel bid process, Ms. Scotchkoff, that way you don't have to sit around here either. If you want to, come on up and kind of go over that process. We've got, I think, 4 new board members. We've been over it before, but I don't think they know how it all works.
Beat it to death.
Thank y'all. Hey, Coach Fry and Ms. Polk, thank y'all for hanging around.
Thank you.
So the fuel tank we currently have is 10,000 gallons. We basically, if we're pumping on a regular schedule, pump about 600 gallons a day. So I usually bid when we hit on our tank, to take a full 7,500 gallons, it has to be just below a foot so that I don't overfill the tank with the heat and expanding, what have you. We try not to put more than 9,200 gallons in the 10,000 gallon tank. So when the fuelers come through and they tell me when it's dropping down, we start kind of comparing and figuring where we're gonna be at. I call the vendors and tell them I'm gonna bid, type out the letter, and I usually fax it first thing in the morning. A lot of times before I run a bus route, so it's sitting on their desk usually by 6 o'clock. The market closes depending on the company. One of them says that the market, they get their prices around 2 o'clock. Rita down here usually gets hers around 3 with things going on. So we bid on that day for the market price that is projected in the morning to get the absolute lowest bid. It's always been done this way here, but several years ago when the board asked me, I looked into it. And what I've been told by the larger companies that we fuel with, that if I want to say, okay, I'm going to get fuel Friday, they're going to guesstimate what that fuel is going to be on Friday and brace it accordingly, and to allow for the transporting, and we could pay 5 or 6 cents more a gallon because they're guesstimating 4 or 5 days ahead of time what the market changes. And as you saw last month when I had my little boo-boo, that's a $300, $400 pop that we're saving by getting the price that day. One of the people mentioned they really didn't think it was enough time to deliver, but that's the way the trucking industry for the fuelers work. They bid, the people call in and they bid, and they take the bids that evening and they line them all up the next day, and they're sitting at the terminal between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning waiting to fuel. As you've noticed, Nixon Noller gets 90% of the bids. She works it where this is their home base. The cost for bringing it here is probably a little bit cheaper than what Nashville can do it, because they have kids in our system, her grandkids are in our system, so they work for us. When Rankin Oil was in, we went back and forth between the two companies all the time. The one thing I'll say about Nixon Noller, some of you were here when Katrina hit, people in Nashville didn't care that we didn't have fuel. Nixon Noller and Rankin Oil at that time kept us going. They rotated between them, and we didn't have the bus shut down because of no fuel. Wilson County and other counties were sitting with no fuel in their buses. Same thing when we had the flood. When the waters came up and I moved the buses, I called Don Apple at home and said, I'm worried about my fuel tank spilling in the river. They came and pumped us out, put the stuff in their own bids. Nashville doesn't care about that. So I basically kind of bid what is the easiest for Rita to give us the best possible deal. And I feel like she does give us the best deal. She gets outbid every once in a while, but it's usually not by much. And if somebody underbids her, I take it. But they're not gonna have our back when we need it, and they're there. So that's the way we bid like we do. So she gives us the most backup and support when things go wrong, so I kinda go with it. But even when Mr. Price was here, he used to put the bids out at noon and literally run to each vendor here in town and give them the bids. I send them out early in the morning, they all know. Hollingsworth doesn't bid because it's actually the same company as Rita, but if Rita can't deliver, they'll bring me at her price and back it up. So even though that's still listed on there, that's kind of like a backup, and that's one of the reasons they don't bid anymore. The other ones still do. And the new guy at Parman is trying to beat Rita, which is just good for us because it's just gonna make the price come down. But that's why we do it on a daily. It's to get that day's bid, because you all know when it gets cold, prices are gonna start skyrocketing. And if they have to try to project what it's gonna cost on Friday, on Tuesday or Wednesday to give them that notice, we're gonna pay 6 to 10 cents more a gallon, and we just really can't afford that. We go through too much fuel.
Mr. Lewis.
Well, thank you, but first of all, I'm not aware of any problem with the way that it's going right now. I mean, we're operating our bids within the law correctly. We've not done anything on the outside of that, just because one company happens to manage to make the bid each time. I don't see a problem with that, and the local community benefits from it. And like she said, they've got it back, so I don't.
Well, I actually talked to you one-on-one, and you told me, it's much more work on her. It's easier for her to bid it by the month and just be done with it, but.
And a lot of school systems do a yearly bid, and they pick that one person year out. I can't imagine, I mean, they're not gonna take a loss, so they're gonna build it up there. Now, and where I bid, if for some reason the terminal's shut down, or we've had a spill or whatever, and we sometimes have to wait a week before things are rolling to get fuel, Nixon Noller is gonna keep us running. My school buses are never gonna get parked as long as they're
Well,
getting
and I don't
the
think it's
percentage
because
of my bids.
there was an issue. I think we just wanting to explain to the board how the.
Yeah, just the process.
Yeah.
We had 4 new board
So
members.
we do bid, I bid 5 of them every time. Some of them will just pop in once in a while and bid just to see if they can beat the bid. I think some of them were Nixon Noller and Rankinola at the time, because we're in their home pocket, so to them, they're grabbing the fuel and bringing their guy home for the night. I don't think they're charging us as much for the transportation fee as what they have to pay in Nashville to bring them down here and then get them back at home at night. So that's really where the advantage is, and why the 2 local companies have always gotten a lower bid by a penny or 2, because I'm their home base.
Well, good job.
Do an excellent job.
Does
Thank you,
anybody
Ms.
have any
Scott.
questions for that?
Thank you, Ms. Gotchcock. And I keep
But I
saying,
have to stay, I have 2 more things on your agenda.
oh, that is right. Okay. I keep saying 4 new board members. Really, we don't have 4 new board members.
Got 3.
Yeah.
3.
All right. We will go back to our consent items. Do we have a motion on our consent items?
Motion to approve consent items A through E.
Ms. Moore, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Apple, any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have our superintendent actions. Everybody hopefully had a chance to look at those. Now we'll move on to new business A. This is a FY20 grant approval. We have a motion on new business A.
So moved.
Mr. Shoulders, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Manning, any discussion? If not, this does involve money. We'll roll call. Mr. Manning?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. New business B. Procedures for individual schools' uses of credit cards, debit cards, and gift cards. Do we have a motion on new business B?
Make a motion.
Mr. Manning, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Lewis, any discussion?
Will this be brought up for another vote, or is this the final vote on this tonight?
It's just one vote.
Okay. Is there one card you're gonna use specifically, do we know?
No, this Marty is probably, it's preliminary to set some rules. Right? We've got less and I say that because credit cards and debit cards are any system that I've ever seen, and that's a good thing. I think if we get permission from this, I think it's something we need to sit down at our principals meeting first and talk about the checkout pot. It's getting, I talked to one board members the other day, it's getting, we can't, problem is, you can't hardly buy anything now. Like, we can send a school check, and a motel won't take it. We've got to have probably a few more cards out there. She's getting now everything's card, and we just can't get it. But I don't want us to be in the news either for being loose with it, so we'll be very strict on whatever we vote in and make sure the principals are highly trained on the checkout policy.
Will the maintenance department use them, and the school bus garage use them?
You've got one already, don't you?
No, well, there's one for Walmart that's assigned to me and David, and I turn in the purchase order for what I'm getting and what it's gonna be, and once he signs it, then I check out the card, go get it.
It's already pre-approved, it's very guarded. You see what I'm saying? And David, and they don't use it much because most everything through them is done through a purchase order. And they bill us and we send out a check from here. But a lot of these, like, we talked, like I said, I talked today, it would be like a lot of these teachers. I don't like, they don't like the monitors when they go back and the auditors look and I hate, like, for example, Leslie, my wife, I think it looks awful when she gets a $200 BEP money. She goes and spends it and we reimburse her. It shows us check to Leslie Smith. If you had a card, it would be more efficient that you could check that out. She had a $200 limit on it. And then we wrote one big check to Walmart at the end of the month. That way you take out, it becomes less personal, I guess, so to speak. Biggest thing is, we don't want, like board member said, we don't want somebody buying something on that card and then getting reimbursed. I mean, we just want to be careful how that's used and make that very clear how much trouble they could get in by using it. And we'll do that through, if we end up approving these procedures, and she's getting these from the state and what the auditor has recommended to her, okay, the safeguards. But if you vote that in, that's something we will go over to the principals meeting, very, very strict on checkout process.
Very strict place.
And we'll make it very clear that we will punish, to the full extent of the law if somebody did do something they shouldn't.
So there'll be a bookkeeper at each facility, it's talking like you gotta have a bookkeeper that'll check that card in and out
Yes.
like a library
Yes.
book. So each school or facility will have
It would be at that particular site.
I got you.
Any other questions? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. New business C. This is a Chromebook purchase request. We have a motion on new business C.
So moved.
Ms. Moore, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. McCaleb, any questions?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis?
How close are we, Mr. Director? I mean, we're buying a lot of Chromebooks, how close are we to reaching our
We're
goal there?
almost, we thought by Christmas, we would be on 80 to 90%. So we're hoping to be 1-to-1. When I say that, a computer device, Chromebook, or a laptop per child. And we're there in some schools because of donations and so on.
Right.
But we hope we're gonna be really close after this year. We may not already be there, we'll be awful close. But I don't think, and Gina, I think there's probably not a child don't have access to one. You know what I'm saying? It might not. But when we say 1-to-1, it'd be one laying there close while Gina's working on one. But I don't think there's a child now that's doing it without access to one, if that makes any sense.
And several of our old ones are beginning to go bad.
And I understand that, and I can appreciate that. I know it does, and technology is what it is. But I think I probably would have not asked that question had Mr. Clare been here at some point in time and said, this is what we're looking at over the next 12 months, and we're going to have to do this much, and you may see bids this many times, whatever. Just seem like everybody.
Yeah, I actually asked that and had the number. And I usually don't forget a number, and I don't know it, but I want to think we were going to be almost there with this purchase, but we like just a few at one school, but I don't hold me to that, but we were close to 1-to-1.
Well, can I ask this, the next time that this comes around, since he's
Yes.
the man throwing it out there, I kind of like to hear from these folks, these principals, this, that, and the other. I mean, could he come to the next board meeting and say, here's where we are, and, we this much more, and we'll be added or something, so we're hearing from him? Is that okay?
With the mobile carts, you know, now with the mobile lab, so to speak, and then with the like computer labs, we're really, I mean, there's not a child, I don't think, that don't have access to one. When I say one-to-one, it might be that I've got one laying here with it closed once it's one-to-one, but I don't think anybody's been denied service already. We're to that point. Does that make sense?
It does, and I apologize for being difficult probably, but I mean, like you know, I talk about before, if there's a principal that's kind of needs something other, I kind of like that principal standing up there explaining it every once in a while. And Mr. Clary, I'm not doubting doing a good job, it's just we're buying a lot of Chromebooks. Maybe next time he can be here and just kind of address it to let us know where we are percentage-wise towards completion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we have those numbers, so we.
Okay,
yeah,
thank you
yeah.
so much.
All right, any other discussion? If not, we'll roll call, Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. New business D. This is permission to sell school bus 36 by sealed bid. Do we have a motion on new business D?
So moved.
Mr. Shoulders, do we have a second? Mr. Apple. Any discussion? If not, we'll roll call, Mr. Manning.
But this is to sale, right?
This is to sell.
Yes.
Your favorite kind, too. You
Yeah,
got one bid on it.
It's to sell.
Yeah, I thought
Thomas the train, Thomas the bus on
Yeah.
it.
Mr. Shoulders.
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. I forgot that was your favorite.
I was fixing to get him, I knew that.
New business E. This is permission to sell 2005 Dodge Stratus by sealed bid. Do we have a motion on new business E?
So moved.
Ms. Moore, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Apple, any discussion? Not, we'll roll call, Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. New business F. This is the Special Education Transportation Contract Agreement. We have a motion on new business F.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Manning, do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Shoulders, any discussion? Not, we'll roll call, Mr. Manning?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion passes. Let's see, we'll skip over a discussion, put those out of order. Do we have anything we need to talk about on our annual policy review for September policies? If not, any need for executive session? Any need?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Ms. Moore with motion to adjourn, Mr. Apple with second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Next